From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 180 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. We're recording today, Saturday, May 18th, 2024. I'm Warren.
I'm Austin from Mumbai.
John from Virginia.
Karim Q1.
And it's Salih Kundas.
Welcome to episode 180. Coming up in this episode, we have the Android Basics, where we salute the Android 15 Beta 2. And then in the spotlight is the Google IO2024. John reports on the Onn device from Walmart. And then we close today's episode with the app of the week, simply called Caption Call. Welcome to episode 180. John, tell us what's going on in Virginia land.
I'm doing good. I hate to spoil my review of the device, but I've returned it. I was impressed with Walmart. I wasn't so impressed with the device, but the return process was pretty nice. I just had to go in the app, hit return, schedule a pickup date for FedEx, and print out the label and just put it on my porch. They came and got it and everything for free. So the return process was nice. I was very impressed with that. But my week was good. I think I might be, hopefully it's just allergies, but I might be getting sick. I'm starting to get a pretty nice headache going on, but hopefully it'll go away soon.
That was a bad sport, John. Returning the on Walmart. I don't know about you, but anyway, well, we'll hear in the review.
Stay tuned to find out why.
And oh my goodness, I think I have some allergies just like you too. For some reason, every time I cut the grass, I kind of get that allergy now. I think I never used to, but I think as I get older, maybe that it is, or maybe I'm getting a little bit better looking every day. That could be part of it. But Sally, what's going on, my boy?
I'm doing well. Well, finally, the weather is getting better here. We are seeing 20 degrees Celsius after heavy rains going on the earlier days. Now it's pretty good. And I had a really nice week. And looking forward to talk about the new things going on in Android world.
The pretty girl out there in Lake Lebanon, Karin.
Hello, I'm doing well. Well, nothing important this week. Life as usual. And the weather is also starting to become hotter. It's not a thing that I like, but yeah, I'm trying to adapt and hoping that it will just be like a very slow return to the heat, and that the summer will be delayed as much as possible, or as much as it's the best thing in the world when summer is just delayed and delayed and delayed.
I don't know about you, girl, but I'm looking at food. Every time I think summer, I'm thinking of food. You got that barbecue thing going on there. You got all that new fresh corn coming in. So let the sun shine. I'm thinking food here. So,
yeah, but this could happen in spring. Spring is better for that.
So, I actually planted some seeds out there. I had some pumpkin seeds that I planted out there and things like that. Of course, my sunflowers growing and all of that. So I'm looking and I'm thinking food. Austin boy, how about you? Don't you want food?
Yeah, I want food, but the week in Mumbai has been very normal. So my uncle, as I told you last week, passed away. Then Monday and Tuesday were the only 2 days I went to work, because from Wednesday onwards I got cellulitis, which is an infection in the leg mostly, which spreads to subcutaneous tissues and may cause buildup of pus and other things. But hopefully the infection is now recovering. But Mumbai, the week on Monday, it rained. So that was very surprising to everyone. And then yesterday, when I went to the doctor, when I was coming back, also it rained. So I think monsoons are entering Mumbai much earlier than what they have to. This is almost 1 month before the normal time, and I hope it just stabilizes and does not rain now and does not stop raining on the time of the monsoons. The heat, it reduces for some time after the rains, but then it becomes even more hotter and humid. So that is just what I don't like now.
So we have rainy Mumbai and rainy nights. A beautiful one. You know, when there's
Yeah,
rain, sometimes it reduces the heat, and it all depends where you are. Some places, when it rains, and it kind of pumps up the humidity and makes it worse than what it is. But you know, if you like the rain, you can go stand out in the rain and cool off some. I hate the rain, so
right
uh,
now I'm cooling off in the AC.
oh, good for you. And now, the Android Basics segment. This is a segment where we discuss the things that power your device from behind the scenes. And now, here's this week's episode, Android Basics. Let's now move on to our Android Basics segment. And of course, we're saluting the Android 15 Beta 2. So here's a preamble, though, of some of the stuff that we like to talk about. And especially, I think the private space is one of those that caught my attention. And here's that little preamble to the private space. And then we'll talk about some of the other stuff. In the heels of Google I/O 2024, on Wednesday, May the 15th, Google released Android 15 Beta 2. As always, this is iterative and not so many things are there for 15 Beta 2. However, there's one that I want to give a preamble of, and that's the private space. To me, that's one of the most important ones, even though they've highlighted some that are not yet there, especially the theft prevention and all of that. For the private space, though, that is available as we speak, and I will demonstrate that or show you where to find it. So first, you navigate to the system settings, and then you navigate to
Security and Privacy, App Security, Device Lock, Permissions, 11 of 19.
And this is where you go to. We tap here.
Security and Privacy, Navigate up, button, out of list.
And now that we are in security and privacy, what we need to do, though, is to scroll down and find and tap on
Private Space, Keep private apps locked and hidden, 15 of 18.
Private Space. Let's go ahead and tap.
Settings, touch the fingerprint sensor. Verify it's you. Face not recognized. Use fingerprint instead. Touch the fingerprint sensor.
So I wasn't looking at it. So if you have face unlock, of course it does have face unlock. You could use your face or use the fingerprint.
Authenticated. Settings. Private space. Heading.
And now we are in the private space area. Let me, though, go ahead and see what it says about this area so we get ourselves familiarized with what this area is all about.
Private space. Heading.
At the top, it says private space heading. And of course, if you can see a little bit, there's a little animation going on. I'll just put my finger down, move down, and see what it says about this part of the screen.
Set up your private space.
And I'll just move my finger down.
Choose a Google account for your space. Using a dedicated account helps to stop synced files, photos, and emails appearing outside your space.
So in other words, if you create this private space, nothing is going to show out of here. So everything that you have, including apps, are not going to show elsewhere on your phone. And that includes the apps and everything else. So you create that knowing that this is going to be exclusively found in the private space. Of course, if you have a Samsung device, there's a similar thing on there on the Samsung device. Google is just a little bit late to the party. Let's move on down.
Set a lock. Lock your space to stop other people opening it.
Moving down.
Install apps. Your private space has its own Play Store so you can install apps easily.
I love the sound of it. Moving down.
Apps in your private space won't appear in Permission Manager, Privacy Dashboard, and other settings when your private space is locked. Your private space can't be moved to a new device. You'll need to set up another private space if you want to use it on another device. Anyone that connects your device to a computer or installs harmful apps on your device may be able to access your private space.
So in other words, just like I said earlier, everything that you install here or activities that you have here is not going to show outside of here, including your apps, and that will also not be shown as impacting your battery, for example, because it's not going to show that report outside of here. However, as it says, if someone hooks up the phone to the computer, they may be able to see your private space. Let's move on down.
Learn more about private space.
And next,
Cancel button.
we have the cancel at the bottom left, or to the right of it is
Setup button.
setup. Now, of course, I'm not going to be setting up a private space as of yet, but I'll just tap here to see what it says. Let's go ahead and tap.
Setting up private space. Heading. Create a Google account to help keep your data private.
We are now on a page that tells us to create a Google account to keep your stuff private. And moving down,
On the next screen you can sign into an account to use with your private space.
moving down,
Create a dedicated account to help stop data appearing outside private space, such as
moving down,
synced photos, files, emails, contacts, calendar events, and other data.
moving down,
App download history and recommendations.
and
Browsing history, bookmarks, and saved passwords.
moving down,
Suggested content related to your activity in private space apps.
moving down.
Skip button.
We've got the skip at the bottom left, and to the right of it
Got it button.
is the got it. So in other words, anything that you create here, like I said earlier, will be exclusively here. I'll tap on got it.
Account setup. Checking info. Heading. Google Play Services. Checking info. Heading. Sign in with your Google account. Learn more about using your account. Web view. warcare@gmail.
And there in the middle is showing your email address. And of course, the whole idea, though, is not to use your existing email account, but you could use another email account if you have another one that you want to convert maybe to a private one. And so at the bottom, we've got
Create account. Menu pop-up button. Collapsed.
there's a create account at the bottom left there, and to the right of it,
Next button.
there's the next button. So if I tap on next, of course, it's going to be using my existing email account to create that account. Now, I don't want to do that. So I could tap on create account submenu and create something new. But let's say I just click on next.
Web view. Hi Warren. Showing password.
So there is asking for my password, of course, and things like that. I'm going to go back because I don't want to use this.
Sign into a Google account to use with your private space.
And now that I've gone back, now we're hearing that. And of course, at the bottom of it, let's assume that you've verified yourself and created a new account. Then at the bottom right, you'll get
Continue.
continue button. Tap.
Google Play Services. Sign in. Next button.
And of course, we're back to that sign in next button. And since I'm not creating an account, I'll just exit out of it. I'll now just exit out of here by going back home.
Home. At a glance, view,
And now I'm going to close out in the recents.
recent apps, settings, 9 of
And
9,
I close
task
settings.
closed,
And now
messages,
I'm going to go
home,
back to settings
notification,
again.
quick settings, open settings, display brightness,
And now I'm going to go down to that security and privacy and then go to private space.
security and privacy,
And now I'm going to go down to private space because even though I didn't create the account, but because I started, it kind of has that private space there that I'll show you how to go about deleting it. Now I'll scroll down and tap on private space.
private space, keep private apps
Let's
locked,
tap.
private space, navigate up, but showing items 1 to 10 of
Now we're on this page, and here are some of the items that we find. Starting from the top,
keep private apps in a separate space that you can hide or lock, 2 of 10,
and
In
moving
list.
down,
lock, heading, 3 of
locks, heading,
private space lock, heading, 3
lock,
of 10,
heading,
private space lock, same as device screen lock,
move
4,
down,
lock private space automatically,
Move
only
down.
hide, heading, 6
there's
of
a
10,
hide heading,
hide private space when it's locked, off, 7 of 10,
and moving down,
system, heading, 8 of
we
10,
come across system,
delete private space, 9 of 10,
we got delete private space, and the last item,
apps in your private space won't appear in Permission Manager, Privacy Dashboard, and other settings when your private space is locked. Your private space can't be moved to a new device. You'll need to set up another private space if you want to use it on another device. Anyone that connects your device to a computer or installs harmful apps on your device may be able to access your private space. 10 of 10.
So in other words, the private space is not a cross-device thing. You can create it on your Pixel 8 Pro, for example, and expect it to be on your Pixel 7 or some other Pixel devices. So I'll move back to delete.
Delete private space. 9 of
And
10.
we tap.
Delete private space. Your private space will be removed from your device. All private apps and data will be deleted. You can't undo this action. Out of list.
And at the bottom left, we got,
Cancel button.
and at the bottom right,
Delete button.
delete button. I'll tap on delete.
Pin. Re-enter your pin. Pin. Edit box.
And now we're being asked for a PIN. Of course, you're going to be using the PIN that you use in authenticating your phone. And now I'll pause this recording and enter my PIN and come back.
Bullet.
I just finished entering my PIN and we'll tap on next at the bottom.
Next. Keyboard hidden. Delete private space. Deleting private space. Heading. Private space deleted. Security and privacy.
And it deleted my private space, and now I'm back to security and privacy. I'll now hand this over to the podcast crew as we discuss these new features of Android 15 Beta 2. John, you have any thoughts about this? Both you and I have this Android 15 Beta 2 as well as Austin. Now, of course, we do want to mention here that if you're jumping into the beta, this is not like the developer preview that you have to sideload or you have to go to the website to install it. Just simply enroll from the website, and it will just become available for you to download on your phone. So there's nothing to do. The only thing to do is to go to the website, and then you tap on available devices, and then below each of those devices that you have that qualify will be an opt-in. You click on that opt-in, and it will just offer it to you OTA over the air, and you're good to go. John or Austin, what do you guys have to say about Android 15 Beta 2?
And Android 15 Beta 2 is very stable. For me, on the Pixel 7a, I got it over the April security patch, and it was about 771 MB. So that installed also very fast. So it is stable with lots of more new features are coming up now that they are finally in the beta program.
John, what was your experience?
So I installed it a couple days ago. I really didn't start playing with it until this morning, but I set up private spaces and I've been playing with that a little bit just to see what it's like.
What I also found in the private space is if you set up a private space and let's say connect WhatsApp to your phone in the private space, you connect your computer to your phone via USB and you cannot see your files unless you don't unlock the private space and give it permission to connect via USB. So that is really a fantastic feature which is hides all your files from the public that I really like. So this can be useful for banking, other financial apps which you don't want people to see, or some notifications apps, and can be really useful.
That's really nice because that was one of the things that I have some concern about. And of course, it would be with the implementation that we have, someone has to authenticate with your fingerprint or with your face first when you hook up the device, as we talked about earlier on when Google implemented this in the Android 15 Beta 1. So even if someone grabs your phone and wants to plug it onto their computer and see, that hidden stuff that you got, first they have to go through a bunch of defenses to get through that. So I like the implementation. So I think, shall we say, we're really secure with the private space. I think we are secure with this private space.
At least the apps that are set in the private space are secure, because the ones that are in the public space or in the normal mode can still be visible without any fingerprint or anything.
If I hook up my device to my computer, I have to authenticate with my fingerprint before it hooks up. So that's the first line of defense.
Yeah,
Without that, you can't see your internal storage.
you can access your app data and all those things.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, so if I plug in my phone right now to my computer, that dialog pops up asking me to authenticate. If I don't authenticate, then there's no connectivity.
That pops up because you have set up a private space already. So
No,
if you
no,
have
no, no,
not,
no, no,
then
no, 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 Austin, no, no, no. Prior to the private space in Beta 1, Android 15 Beta 1, Google implemented a feature where if you hook up your phone via the USB port to the computer, you have to authenticate the connectivity. For example, so you tap on charging this device, and if you want that file transfer, you tap on that file transfer, you have to authenticate. That's what I'm talking about. So
okay,
this one is already in place as a first line of defense.
it did not do it for me because I must be having developer mode enabled and all those things.
That's odd. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
mine behaves. So if I hook up my device and I tap on Android system charging this device, and then I have those options, choosing what I want to do, and I choose file transfer, it asks for authentication. Without it, nothing can be seen.
Something I wanted to mention about private spaces is that you can set it up without using a Google account. So in your preamble, when you got to the page where it was first telling you to sign in with your account, there was two buttons at the bottom. One was skip and one was got it. And in the preamble, you hit got it. But if you hit skip, it will still enable it without being signed into a Google account. And then you'll have access to like a private message, or not messages, a private files, like a file manager, photos app, the camera, private camera. There's like 8 apps that you have access to. But of course, if you want to add more apps from the Play Store, you can't download anything from Play Store without being signed into an account. So you would have to sign in from there. But just to test it out, I signed in with my same Google account. That was the main account on my phone, and I downloaded apps to my private space from there. And it did end up keeping them all separate. So I had signed into my private Telegram with a different with my burner number instead of my regular number, and it kept it all separate. They have like separate app data and everything from the regular apps. So just thought I'd point that out. It's a pretty nice experience, but something else I wanted to mention is it seems like, at least as far as I could tell, you have to be using the Pixel launcher to get to this stuff, because the way you would turn on private space is you'd go to your app drawer and you'd go all the way down to the bottom until you see the switch for private space, and you'd turn that on, and then all of your private apps appear under the regular apps in the app drawer. So unless there's another way that I don't know of to access this stuff, I think you won't be able to use this feature if you have a third-party launcher.
I'm glad you tried skipping it, because I didn't. And so it's nice to know that you can still do something if you skip it. And regarding your third-party launchers, I think sometimes these early things are not supported in third-party launchers, and we'll see how that pans out over the period as it matures and all of that. I really like it. And another thing, though, that hasn't come is the one that Google talked about, the second day of Google I/O, that theft protection. I think that's a huge one. Android keeps getting better and better. So I, for one, am surely looking forward to that theft protection. It's not like someone has ever tried to grab my phone from my hand while I'm walking and all of that. I'm not one of those that would be holding my phone in my hand. When I'm out there, my phone is in my pocket. But of course, I can see people who have their phones on lanyard or whatever, or trying to use the camera while you're walking. There's something I'll never do. But someone tries to steal your phone, then of course, that will jolt that theft protection and try to disable stuff so someone doesn't get into your phone. Because as it is, for example, if someone grabs my phone and it's unlocked if I was using it, and then they could turn on something like the camera to keep the phone awake, and then they can just go into your phone and look at your stuff. You get nice pictures or whatever. Those are some of the things some people want to hide and all of that. It's not that the physical device is what matters. I think it's the data that is of great importance here when it comes to the phone. So I'm glad to see this feature coming. And although it's not here yet, but I'm almost positive maybe in beta 3 or with the final release, we'll have that theft protection.
So what theft protection does is, even if your phone is in your pocket, or if your phone is in your hand and it's even unlocked and you're using it, if somebody grabs your phone, they won't grab your phone and go slowly. They'll either run away, pick it up and run away. So that alerts the gyroscope sensor, which then locks your phone, and you can call it using another number and tell it your PIN, and it will unlock. Or if you have done it somehow, you have alerted the gyroscope sensor yourself, which can happen if you are doing some heavy sporting activities, then you can unlock it. Otherwise, you can do the Find My Phone and other things even when the phone is locked in the theft protection. So that is something good that they are doing. It's very secure, especially in Mumbai. This happens a lot. Like Android phones are robbed in pockets also, and you don't even know. So it's a good thing they are doing this feature and they're adding the feature.
This is why I've refused to come visit you, Austin, because I don't want my phone to get stolen. Just kidding. But Mumbai does sound scary, or maybe say you're in New York, some other big cities like that. Things of this nature are very common around the world. So I'm glad we have this as a protection. John, you want to talk about the Bluetooth thing? That's another thing that we have with Android 15 that is available right now. You want to talk a little bit about that, what it does?
Sure. So if you go into settings and then go to connected devices and then go to connection settings, there's a new, under the Bluetooth heading, there's a new switch that I guess, is this turned on by default or turned off by default? Do you know?
By default is on, and that's the connect later.
Okay. Yeah, so I went in there and I turned it off. It will turn Bluetooth back on. So if you turn off Bluetooth manually, it's going to turn it back on automatically the next day. So if you don't want that behavior, then this is where you would need to go in the settings and turn that switch off. So it's, um, I guess it's a feature that people wanted. I didn't want it, but somebody asked for it at some point, and it's here now.
Well, I guess the thing is that, for example, if I turn it on or turn it off and then I forget it, then, I'm trying to connect something and it's not pairing or whatever the case may be. So since it turns on automatically for me the following day, then I don't have to bother about it. But of course, if you don't want your Bluetooth on, then you just need to turn it off. So it's one of those things that is a win-win situation for everyone. And I'm glad we have something like that. I think I'm digging it.
Yeah, I think most people, I would assume most people are either like always on people or always off people. Like if a lot of people just keep Bluetooth off all the time and until they need it, and then they turn it on. And then people like me just leave it on all the time because I always want to be able to connect to things. So I guess now there's some kind of middle ground for the people that want something like that.
Exactly. So I happen to be like you. My Bluetooth is on all the time. Now, when Google released Android 15 Beta 2, it also included some phones that can now jump onto the beta. Sally and Karen, you guys want to talk about some of those phones or manufacturers that have that Android 15 beta? It'll be like beta 1 for them and things like that.
Well, those manufacturers are basically from China, so Chinese people are super happy about it. Samsung is not included right now, but I'm sure they will be joining to the party later on.
You're talking of your Samsung because look at that selfish boy. He's looking out for
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
boy.
honestly, this is something great because brands like Techno, Honor, and Xiaomi, Vivo, those brands are really making it good joining this to the beta program. But the only thing is they won't be joining with a lot of devices. Only the flagship devices that they are released on this year, they will be eligible for the Android 15 beta. But on the other hand, our Samsung is going to join with several devices, though. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I agree,
Yeah.
though. Well, Samsung has lots of devices, and once they open up the
But
floodgate, yeah.
after all, this is something great. I mean, maybe next year when Android 16 beta is coming out, there will be much more devices covered. This is a great preparation, I think, for this year. But I'm really optimistic.
You're correct, because these are brands that we've never heard of before. I mean, for example, the Techno, for example, is one of those. And then, of course, you have the Nothing phone. We have Nothing. Nothing is part of that experience as well. But like you said, though, when Samsung jumps on, is that there's going to be lots of devices. A lot of the A series devices are also going to be part of this experience. So I think we have a good thing coming up ahead of us. And if you have a Samsung phone, look forward to that. And I'm thinking maybe in August or thereabout, Samsung might jump on, or maybe September, who knows? But they've kind of been opening up earlier and earlier every year. So it wouldn't surprise me if after the Samsung Unpack or during the Samsung Unpack in July, Samsung tells us they're jumping onto the beta with the S24 series or something like that.
You know what? There is one good thing about TikTok. Since more brands are joining to the party, I think in the future we will see more different devices in the community saying, "Okay, I'm using a Huawei device. Can you help me with it? What are you gonna do?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the next thing here? I think there's something called the adaptive vibration. Austin, you want to talk about that, or John, you want to talk about that?
So there are different vibration patterns in Android 15 Beta 2. One is customized vibrations. This, what it will do is you can set a different vibration pattern for different apps. So you can know exactly from which app you are getting notifications. like Telegram can have one vibration pattern, WhatsApp can have another. So you can set it that way. Another thing you can do is there is adaptive vibration where the phone will judge which environment you are in. Like if you are in a musical studio, pub, or something, and if you are in a loud environment, it will adjust your vibrations up to that, so that you feel that somebody is calling you or somebody is notifying you. And the last thing is vibration area or environment. So this, what it does is, if your phone is kept on a flat surface, it will vibrate a little slower or not that aggressive, so that your phone does not slip over the flat surface and fall. But if your phone is kept on a couch, let's say, and it's like pretty deep or pretty soft couch, then it will vibrate extremely, so that you know that yeah, your phone is here, and you can easily find your phone through the vibration and answer the call and notifications. And according to that, the vibration patterns can be either set or are auto set depending on your environment.
I like it because that adaptive vibration is a good thing. Some people, permanently leave their phones on, vibrate. They don't want the ringer on and things like that. So I'm looking at my daughter. You can get them, on the phone most of the time. You have to text or whatever, but the phone is in vibrate mode. So I like the adaptive vibration. So if you are at a sporting game or whatever, and it's loud there, like you said, Austin, you can feel that vibration because it's going to be louder based on the environment that you are in, because it utilizes the microphone to detect as to where you're at. So I like that feature. The next thing that we have, though, is the back gesture, which used to be hidden in the developer options. And what that is that if you're going back to a previous screen or back to some other app, it will tell you or show you what app you're going back to. Now, this is something that has to be enabled by developers. So if the developer doesn't enable it, it's not going to be there. So but at least some of the Google apps and the settings area, for example, you can see that in action right now. You don't need to go into the developer option to enable that feature. John and I were trying it earlier on to see if those of us using the screen reader, if there's something like says, hey, you're going back to Lookout or you're going back to XYZ. I didn't hear that. So maybe Google could tweak it a little bit to include us.
One more slight improvement that they've done, and this is mostly a visual design change, but it also affects us because it makes the sliders larger in the volume panel, and that's the expanded volume panel. So when you bring up your volume controls and then you hit, I don't know if it's still called expand or if it's called volume settings. It might be called volume settings. You double tap on that and it'll bring up all the sliders for all the volumes, and they're arranged horizontally. It's the same as it was, but they're a lot larger and easier to find. So if you like to explore your screen, I think this will make it a lot easier. And then there's also on the screen, there's a button to turn on live captions or adjust where your sound output is coming from. So if you want to change that, you can also do it there.
Talking about visuals, that's another thing, though, that has to do with colors. They're kind of better also. So those that have some sight could take advantage of things like that. And I think those are some of the things, though, that we see with Android 15 Beta 2. Most of these things are iterative, but these are some of the new things that are available, except the theft protection, which hasn't quite debuted yet.
Also, if you use live captions, then the volume panel will be expanded in beta 3 and will show you some more options for live captioning. So that also will be coming up next month.
Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews of developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this episode, here's your spotlight. We now move on to the next segment. And of course, we're talking about the big elephant in the room. We're talking about Google I/O 2024. Guys, let's talk about Google I/O 2024. Just like we said last week, it was all going to be about AI. And indeed, it was the AI mentioned 120 times during the keynote. And then Sundar Pichai added one more. So 121 mentions of the word AI. Let's talk about Google I/O 2024 or Google AI 2024. Which one is it, Austin?
It's Google AI AIO 2024. But some AI things in this are really powerful. The first thing I like to talk about is LM Notebook and Audio, where they demo learning science and physics using examples as question answers, wherein they joined the conversation. So there was this developer and his son joining the conversation where they were talking about basketball examination or examples. The next big powerful thing in this is Deep Minds, which has a lot of inventions like videos, and you can import videos and ask about that. You can ask what is going on in the images, and you can also import them. Gemini 1.5 Pro was released with 2 million tokens. So that is a big number of APIs that can be imported. 2 million tokens is a long list of APIs or tokens that developers can use to build their apps. Then there was some TPUs, CPUs, GPUs announced in the AI or Google I/O 2024. And this is the nice thing. They have demoed a nice feature in Android Gemini where you can ask PDF. Like you can load 1500 pages of PDF and you can ask what is in this PDF. Like it will give you a nice summary or nice highlight of the whole PDF in, let's say, 1 or 2 pages. Or it can, if you want to ask it what image is in this PDF or which part of the PDF is about some science topic, then it'll answer you that. So you don't need to keep browsing the whole PDF searching for something. The next thing is regarding accessibility, where talkback and image description, which uses Gemini again. So that is a good thing about Gemini. It's really become powerful. This amount of sessions that were on Gemini was like huge, from building apps to debugging code to everything. And then there was this call on the phone which demoed a warning of scam call. So that is going to be very nice for the senior citizens and those who are not much educated in scams or phishing and all those other things, where you get warning when the audio is processed locally on your phone and you get notification saying this call may be a scam, to take care. And much more in the IO, which is mostly towards development. One place where IO saved me is, or AI saved me, is when my boss wanted me to submit a commit report to the office. So I'm in charge of building Android apps with my team. We built the Archdiocese of Bombay app, and then I had to submit a commit report. So when which commit was submitted by my team, so that updates can be rolled, or we could see rolling in of updates systematically. So what I had to do is I had to import the whole library, and it gave me a commit date by date report of when which commit was supported. So I was hugely saved by Gemini, and also that was a really fascinating thing that it took that so long library and tried out. So all these features can be tried out on Android AI Studio.
Talking about that AI, Austin, I know you are the king of AI here. You're so much into this now. When they mentioned that talkback in that keynote, I almost fell out of my chair because this is the very first time we ever heard anything about talkback. Yeah, usually they have other sessions, but not in the keynote. And so, I mean, kudos to Google for talking about talkback during the opening keynote. This is something that has never happened. This is the very first time that we heard such a thing, and I was excited about it. And then um, another thing that Pichai talked about, I think, is having things getting returned for you automatically. Say, John, you are not buying a lot of crap from Amazon. Spamming Amazon and returning stuff. Gosh, you could have that AI, try to fill out stuff for you, so you don't have to go through all that manual process of doing the stuff to return. So I think that we have a lot of good stuff coming for us within the AI. If you're here in the States, I already got Google saying I could try it free for 2 months, the AI 1.5 Pro. And I haven't activated any of that, but the pricing also is nice. I mean, some of them are as cheap as like 35 cents and some of them like $3 a month. So I think Google actually has a good pricing going on for this AI thing if one wants to take advantage of it.
I missed a whole segment on the workspace, Google Workspace, where they have made it really, really powerful. Like if you can search your emails with, let's say you are doing a house repairing project and your roofing, so you can search more than one contractor. You can tell Gemini to compare the price and make it list, give you a summary, and it will do that. And you can keep up with your children's emails, like give you a highlight, and you can plan up travel vacations and itineraries depending on Gmail. And you can also ask it questions like when the doors will open for the next game. So you don't need to open Gmail, go to that email, read it, and find out. This will do it in a couple of steps. So it's really for workspace, they have really bought up the game in AI, and AI is going to smarten Android also in the future.
I want to talk about two things regarding the new developments. First of all, the addition of Gemini in Google's Talkback. I hope that this time Google will not make it exclusive to the United States or just few countries like it does usually. And I hope that other parts of the world will get it, not after 3 years or 4 years, just to get it immediately with the United States and the other countries. So I hope that this time they will not do it wrong, like what they do usually. This is the first thing.
I hear you, my dear. No, I think this one though, I hope I'm not wrong, but I would like to believe that it will be for everybody. It better be.
Let's see. And the second thing is related to GPT. Because, before Google I/O, there was the GPT announcement. And, that it's a war currently. It's just announcing this, then the other company will announce that. And Google is usually trying to play the catch-up game. So yeah, GPT-4o was announced this week. And it is something really powerful. It's able to be much faster than the 4 Turbo. And it's able to also interact by voice much better than it used to be. It's now more it's able to interact via speech using better interactions, better tones. It can change its tone. It can sing. And to be honest, I'm more like I'm a person who trusts GPT's ability more than Gemini, because Gemini wasn't able to show its capabilities as it should. And it was like all the time we were just feeling like Gemini is just something that is trying to play the catch up, and it wasn't able at all to convince, I think, the people who tested it compared to what GPT was able to do. Yeah, Gemini is improving. However, I think that GPT is still the king.
So after the AI, when AIO or Google I/O came, that time Gemini was really upgraded or updated, I should say. That now you should find the real improvements as it rolls out. The rollout is very fast. It's rolling out to many countries in the world very fast, but some parts are yet to roll out. They are saying by the end of September, October, Gemini will completely roll out to all the countries in the world. So that time you can test. It's mostly for developers though. It's very the usage for users can only come in workspace, Google search, and so on. You can't unless you are coding or doing something, then you can make the most use of it. Or if you are doing something with LM notebook, you can import audios, videos, ask it what is then the image, and you can also prepare videos with it. That is Google Deep Video or VED, where you can give it like prompts and it will prepare the video for you. It will take aerial shots if you want, and whatever you want to prompt it, it will prepare the instructional videos for you and give it the time that it needs for the video.
Oh, and I wanna add something, just one thing regarding accessibility and Gemini. Well, GPT 4.0 is going to be integrated in Be My Eyes, and I think that they started to integrate it in the images description. I didn't test yet, but I think that they did it. And on the other hand, we have Google, which is able to add or integrate Gemini's ability in Lookout. Like, it's possible for Lookout to have image descriptions, to add maybe the ability to have real-time description, like you have a conversation with Lookout, and it will tell you exactly what's in front of you, and you can just have a conversation, which is still not announced yet, and I don't know if they have any plan for that. So also, I think that they should like try to do something in this regard if they want to really integrate the Gemini thing more into accessibility and into the lives of blind users.
The Lookout one is in beta. That's what they said. So, if one can join the beta, that's the find feature that Google rolled out. So that is available, but it's in beta. So, like you said, Karen, it can tell you what's in front of you and things like that. My whole idea about this, I'm excited about it. And I hope that developers and also like people like Google and others also will take this opportunity to give us accessibility needs that we have been needing for a while. And when we talk about this, I'm constantly thinking about text-to-speech, Karen. You and I love that text-to-speech. I don't know why we're not getting, with all this powerful AI stuff, how come it is that we're not getting more and more text-to-speech, system-wide text-to-speech services on our phones and computers and things like that. And I want to see that. I want to see people taking advantage of that. And I don't know why no one ever thinks of these things. It kind of just bothers my mind.
Yeah, I agree. I think it rubs me the wrong way when they do all of these demonstrations to show how incredible this thing is. And it's like they can point to things and say, "What is this?" Right? And they can say, "Where did I leave my glasses?" And it says, "Oh, it was on the table by the Apple." But yet, they can put all this together for a demonstration to show off how smart Gemini is, but why can't I open Lookout, just scan the room with my phone, just move it from left to right and say, where did I sit this object? If they're showing us that it can do this stuff, but where is it? Why can't we use it? Because it would benefit us the most. Like, yeah, it looks cool in a demonstration, but where is it going to be the most helpful? It's going to be the most helpful for us. So hopefully they roll this stuff out to Lookout or something similar soon.
Yeah, so that will be in the find feature that is in the beta. So, for example, I want to go into the bathroom and I want to find where the stall is and things like that. So I should be able to use that, because one of the things that we've been complaining about with Lookout is to have that capability, John, of getting pictures. I don't want to import a picture. I want to use it to, see things, or, even take pictures right in and there from within Lookout. And I think that's what they're implementing in this beta. So some of the needs or wants that we want, I think they are becoming reality. But like I said, I want to see more and more, because I think if there's any group of people that's constantly being left behind, it is us. And when I say us, I'm talking about those of us within the disability communities, be it the blind or whatever. We're constantly behind. And of course, also there's something about maps, but that has to do with people in wheelchair. Of course, I'm glad they have stuff for them as well, because I think most of the time we're too selfish, looking out for ourselves only, just like my boy there, Sally, was looking for Samsung beta. That self thing is always there. And frankly, it's the thing that all of us do. And when I look at these capabilities, all that comes to my mind, of course, is my part of disability, which is blindness. And so I'm glad they're doing this for other people as well, and using your face or using your eyes to do things on the screen. These are very important things as well. So I'm glad we have that, because there are some people that are out there that can't move any of their limbs, and if they can use their eyes to do things with, I think this is also a beautiful thing.
I am a bit fear for YouTube creators, because if you can create videos using Google's video project, you can easily make videos and upload them to YouTube. So I don't know. There's going to be very tough competition in future for the creators.
You're listening to the Blind Android Users podcast.
Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews of developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this episode, here's your Spotlight. We move on to Spotlight 2, and of course, we're talking about the Onn device from Walmart that John unboxed last week. Today, though, we're talking about some of the pitfalls and some of the strengths of this device. And here's John to tell us about the Onn device.
Hello. Today I'm going to be demonstrating the Onn 4K Pro Google TV streaming box and assistant speaker, kind of. So I'll actually start by demonstrating the speaker capabilities, and then I'll show you the Google TV portion. I'm going to be saying okay followed by the word Google a lot in this demonstration, so I'm going to fix that somehow in editing so that it's not triggering your speakers at home. So the first thing I'm going to say about the speaker portion of this device is it's loud, and I have not figured out how to adjust the volume. I've tried voice commands, I've tried touching the device on the top to see if there were sensors. I've even gone in the Google Home app, and when I try to adjust the volume there, it says this device does not support volume adjustment. So this is the volume it's going to be at. I have not figured out how to change it. And you cannot use this thing as a speaker. So if you're planning on it, it's not going to work. If you tell it to play a podcast or music, something that's just audio, it will not play the audio through its internal speaker. It will turn on your television and play it through the television. In fact, most things it plays through the television, even simple things like asking for the time or asking for the weather, it will turn on the TV and answer you there. Even if you just ask it a question you want the answer to, it's going to turn on your TV. The only thing I've discovered that it doesn't turn on the TV for is a smart home command. So I'll demonstrate that first. And I'm doing this demonstration with TalkBack turned on. Even though the TV's off, TalkBack is turned on, just so you can see the lovely experience it provides. Okay.
Music volume set to 68%.
Set the thermostat to 74.
All right, setting the thermostat to 74 degrees.
Music.
So, as you can see, that's the best experience you're going to get, unless you leave TalkBack turned off. But the good thing is it did not turn on the television. If you ask it something simple like the weather, this is what's going to happen. Okay.
Music volume set to 68%.
What's the weather?
Right now in Chesapeake. Today,
Because it's turning on the TV.
then a low of 59.
So as you heard, the sound is going back and forth between the TV speakers and the speaker on the device. So not a beautiful experience. And what's happened is it's put the forecast on the TV. And the reason it was cutting out like that is because it kept trying to play the output on the TV, which was not yet fully turned on, so it just kept cutting out. I'm going to turn the TV off. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you ask for a podcast. Okay. Play Blind Android Users Podcast.
All right, playing Blind Android Users podcast on Spotify.
9:11 a.m.
Yes. Was like 60
So
whatever. And now, believe it or not,
TV is
it's
on.
been raining
If I press the center button, that'll pause it.
since morning.
Spotify cast receiver 5.37.192.186 web view.
If I press left and right on the D-pad, that'll skip through it.
You should send all the chili and the rain to Mumbai.
think.
Cover art. Graphic.
Yeah, I think I
Episode
should
Okay,
100%.
maybe
that
not.
stuff.
It's
Blind
just
Android Users
adjusting the
Podcast.
focus.
Playing from show. Blind Android Users Podcast. 0 out.
And now, the announcement segment.
And now I'm trying
This
to
is a
figure out how to
19
pause
minutes.
it.
The things we want you to be in the know.
No next default.
And now for this
No
week's
next default.
episode, here's your announcement.
0 hours 5 minutes. 1 hour 19 minutes. 0 hours.
Let's try
Let's
it.
now turn up.
Microphone is recording.
Pause.
Google. Chromecast built in. Spotify cast receiver 5.37.192.1816 web view.
That paused
Microphone
it.
stopped recording.
And as you can see, as I'm about to explain to you, this isn't actually Spotify. It's put up the cast interface. So this interface is going to be what's on the screen. There's usually no controls to interact with or anything, and it depends on the app. Even if you cast to the speaker from your phone, it won't play it on the speaker. The speaker will turn on the TV and do the same exact thing that just happened now. Another thing, and I don't know if this happens on every Google TV because I don't use Google TV, but when you press and hold the microphone to say something, or you say, okay, G, to wake it up, it tells you the microphone is listening. TalkBack yells that out. And then it again tells you when it's closed. So for example,
Microphone is recording.
go to the home
Google.
screen.
Home. Netflix. Microphone stopped recording.
And I have not figured any way to get this to stop. I was hoping it was just a toast notification, but apparently not, because I went into the settings for the Google app and blocks notifications, and it still does it. So I don't think there's any way around it. Now that we got that garbage out of the way, let's explore the interface a little bit. So I'm on the home screen now. And you can get here by pressing the home button, which is the middle button, or the center button, I should say, right below the directional pad. And there are tabs at the top. The first is the For You tab, then
Live button. Apps button. Library button.
and I'm clicking this close to the microphone so you could hopefully hear when I press the button and when it actually responds.
Search with Google Assistant. Open Quick Settings panel.
And that's everything across the top.
Search with Google Assistant. Library button. Apps button. Live button. For You button.
And for you, I'm going to just show you a little bit of what's on here.
Feature row.
This seems to be ads. Of course, they call it featured. You can swipe right to go through these.
Classic Doctor Who. Get lost in time and space with the first 7. New season. Doctor Who. 15th Doctor and Ruby Sunday time. Just added. The Beatles. Let It Be. Restored Doc captures Beatles final recording sessions. Watch on Disney Plus.
All right, going down.
OJ. Simpson. Blood, Lies and Murder. Peacock. Content rating. TV 14. 2023 present. Tom Lang, the LAPD lead detective on the OJ
Now, it didn't tell me
Simpson
what...
double murder case. Discusses evidence that was left out of trial by the prosecution. A look at Tom Lang's personal 450-page journal and photos and videos from first-hand participants.
I don't know how to
unsettling,
stop
and
it.
tragic.
And we go... I don't know what row this is. It doesn't tell you the heading of it.
Netflix.
Going down again, these are apps. This is a row of apps.
Prime Video. Disney Plus. Hulu. YouTube.
But there's an apps tab at the top, which would be a quicker way to get here. Going down.
The Lion Guard. Disney Plus S1F8 Kupatana Celebration. Resume now.
So, my son was watching this morning, so this is obviously the continue watching row, although, again, it's not labeled, or it doesn't tell me what it is. So I'm going to hit home to go back up to the tabs at the top. Even though it didn't say it, I'm on the For You tab. Moving to the right.
Live button.
Show you the Live tab.
Star Trek, Voyager, Pluto TV, Star Trek Voyager, TVPG S77.
Again, ads.
Recents, 5 channels.
Then there's
Google TV, 125 channels.
Recent section. And what this is all the free online TV services like Pluto TV, Google TV's own service, Tubi, stuff like that. It's going to recommend things here. And if you don't have the app installed, it's going to ask you to install it. So I guess this is just a collection of all the free stuff you can watch without having to have a subscription.
Popular, 25 channels. Movies, 67 channels.
Let's just go into here to see what it's like.
Nerve. Today, 7:45 to 9:45 a.m. PG-13, USA 2 hour.
So these are
Industrious
movies.
High School Senior V. Delmonico, Emma. Jersey Girl. Today, 8:30 to 10:45 a.m.
These are movies that are...
Pluto TV icons, unfavorite.
Sorry. I'm just trying to get it to stop. These are movies that are on right now. And like I said, if you don't have the app, it'll send you to the Play Store to download it. You can also get to this Live tab by pressing the TV button, which is to the right of the home button on the remote. Going back up to the top, I'm gonna actually hit that TV button because it'll take me
Live button.
back up to the top, and I'm on the Live tab. I'm going to the right.
Apps button.
This is where I usually go because I just want to get to whatever app.
Crunchyroll.
Of course, the first row is going to be ads because this is Google TV. But then below that
Disney Plus.
is the actual apps you have installed. And I'll demonstrate a few of these. Let me see. I'm going to show you Google's Live TV.
Hulu. YouTube.
free TV.
Free channels from Google TV.
That's what it's called.
NCIS, New Orleans, Ion TV 14, 40 minutes left.
Say no more to this chore with gutter guards by
High player
Miles
controls.
Roofing.
High
A
player controls.
surprisingly
High
Okay,
player
good.
controls. High player
This
controls.
is what I wanted
High
to
player
show you.
controls. High player controls. High player controls.
Anytime
High player controls. High player controls.
I'm pressing
High player
to
controls.
try to get out of
High
this,
player controls.
all the directions.
High player controls. High player
Nothing's
controls.
happening.
High player controls. High player.
If I
Republic
press
of Royal, Ion
select,
Plus TV 14, 39 minutes
it
left.
will bring up the guide,
I am he, and he is me.
but when the guide goes away,
Free channels from Google TV.
it goes back to hide player controls, hide player controls. It just says it over and over. That's the ad experience. So when you're watching free TV by Google and you have TalkBack enabled, anytime there's an ad on the screen, it's going to do that, what you just heard. When the show is on, it's fine. If you bring up the guide in front of the commercial, it will be fine. But if you're watching TV and it goes to a commercial break, that's what you're going to hear. So, again, not a polished experience, but something I had to demonstrate. Now, I'm sorry if the speech rate is too fast for you, but I just can't deal with it any slower than what it is. But I'm going to go to... So the top right button on the remote is a favorites button, and I've assigned that to my TV app, which is called Channels DVR. So I'm just going to show you my
Channels
guide
DVR. The 700 Club.
and what it's like to...
The 743.1.
So here's the channels.
6,104.
Just to show you
6,140.
how it's like to browse,
6,141.
the speed of it.
6,143.
And the problem with TalkBack, one of the problems with TalkBack is
6,144.
that you can't press and hold. If you press and hold a key, nothing happens. So you can't scroll
6,147.
through a lot. Let's turn off TalkBack.
Talkback off.
So this is the experience for a sighted person. If you can hear that pop sound. Much more responsive, and you can press and hold to scroll a long list of channels. So if you have 100 channels, you don't have to press the button 100 times to get to what you want. Turning TalkBack on again.
Talkback on. Held back and down buttons. Talkback turned on. Channels DVR. 6,147.
Okay. I'm going to demonstrate a few apps now. I'm going to start with YouTube.
YouTube. Lightning McQueen's Beach Race Competition. Cars Daredevil Garage. Pixar Cars. 5 minutes, 56 seconds.
So this is a little louder because it does not respect the... I've customized TalkBack's speech volume and made it lower, but it still plays it at the regular volume. It does still play it at my speech rate I set though, so I guess that's a good thing. Just to show
Bedtime routine with read aloud. At Beretta. I can do hard things. Doggyland kids songs and nursery rhymes. Shows. Row. Memorable Mother's Day muffins. The Bumble Nuns cartoons. Learning. Row. Animals. Little engine locomotive. For you. Button.
So that was basically YouTube Kids because I was logged into my son's account, but YouTube is the same. Now I will demonstrate Disney Plus, which is probably one of the best apps I've come across.
Disney Plus. On the Who's Watching screen, select a profile to log into. Edit profiles. On the home screen. Doctor Who, Disney Plus original, new episode every Friday. Select for details on this title. Disney, window Disney Plus.
Just gonna select something.
Animals and nature. Secrets of the Octopus.
So as you can see, it did read the heading, and then I went down so I know what section I'm in. Going in here.
On the details screen, continue.
You can press up to read the description.
You have 6 minutes remaining. Explore the extraordinary intelligence of the octopus mind.
Go back down.
You have 6 minutes. Continue.
Go to the right.
Restart.
Restart.
Trailer. Select to add this title to your watch list.
So as you can see, this is not a bad experience.
Trailer.
And I'll just confirm audio description does work in Disney Plus. Now I'm going to open Netflix.
Microphone is recording. Google.
Open Netflix.
Opening
Microphone stop recording.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Excuse the cat. I think he's fighting with the cat outside through the glass door. Now I'm not hearing anything in Netflix. This is a live demonstration. I'm going to choose my profile. Let's see if once we're in, something happens.
Dearest reader, it has been said that the
Mr. DeGray.
Okay, so there's no speech at all.
Mr.
So
Looks like the gang's all here.
Going home.
And you must be the mother of the...
Home.
Because there was no speech, I'll have to describe the experience I had when it was working for some reason. And that is that Netflix, it reads everything, but you have to let it finish reading anything. So if you move the focus, it's not going to read what you're on until it finishes reading. So if you select, for example, a show, it'll open up that show and you'll be on the play button, but it won't say play button. It'll read you the whole description of the show and then say play button. If you start moving the cursor around, like say you move from play to add to favorites, or I don't know the buttons, but let's say you moved it around, then you would still have to listen to the description, and then it would tell you the play button, add to favorites, play button, add to favorites. So say you were moving back and forth just to try to hear something, it would just add all of that to the queue of what's currently being read. So it's a very slow experience to get where you want, but I will confirm audio description also works in Netflix. Another app I tried that was not accessible at all is Peacock. The buttons were unlabeled and TalkBack would not, even though this is technically TalkBack 14.0, it would not try to detect the icons or text in the images, even though they were unlabeled. And I tried to log in, and Peacock has its own keyboard in which none of the letters are labeled. So it's just a keyboard full of unlabeled buttons, and that's the only way to sign into it. So that app's not usable. I'm going to show you the Hulu experience. This is funny.
Microphone is recording. Google.
Open Hulu.
Microphone.
Opening
Google Assistant.
Hulu for Android TV.
Hulu. Welcome. TalkBack doesn't work with the Hulu app. To use Hulu text-to-speech, please turn off TalkBack in your device's accessibility settings. Text-to-speech will be enabled automatically when you return to Hulu. For more info, go to hulu.tv/AndroidTV. Quit button. 1 of 1.
So, as you heard, you have to try to go into Hulu. They're going to tell you, no, turn off your screen reader, because that's what you love to do.
Home.
As someone blind, just turn off your screen reader, right? So let's do that.
Feature. Row. TalkBack off.
Then using voice command, because it's the only way I know how, without the screen reader, let's open it back up. Open Hulu.
Opening
Home. Spotlight. Row. 1 of 36. Eileen. New on Hulu. Rated R Thriller 2023. Play. Button. 1 of 2. Eileen. Select to begin playback. Move horizontally for more options. Based on the best-selling book, young secretary Eileen becomes enchanted by the glamorous new counselor at the prison where she works. Their budding friendship takes a twisted turn when Rebecca reveals a dark secret, throwing Eileen onto a sinister path.
And now once you're in here?
Details. Button. 2 of 2. Eileen. Select for more details. Move horizontally for more options. Based on the best-selling book, young secretary Eileen becomes enchanted by the glamorous new counselor. Play. Button. 1 of 2. Eileen. So TV for you. Row. 2 of 36. Shogun. On Hulu original series. Movies for you. Row. 3 of 36. Where the Crawdads Sing. New on Hulu. Rated
So
PG.
it tells you the
Dunk
row.
Dragon Ball Super. Brawly. For anime. Action
you
adventure
change
fans.
the row.
Where the Crawdads Sing. New on Hulu. Rated
Just going in
PG-13 drama.
here.
Thriller 20. Where the Crawdads Sing. Watch movie Where the Crawdads Sing 2 hours 5 minutes. Button. 4 of 4. Watch trailer Where the Crawdads Sing. Trailer. Press select button to add to my stuff.
Navigation
button. 2
is
of 4.
pretty quick.
Watch trailer Where the Crawdads Sing. Watch movie where the crawdads sing 2 hours 5 minutes.
Going back.
Home. Movies for you. Row 3 of 36. Bingeable TV. Row 4 of 36. Spotlight. Row 5 of 36.
Just going through the
Missing persons
rows.
unit. Top 15 today. Row 6 of 36. American Idol. ABC 2020. On
So
ABC
as you
News.
can see,
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
it's
Watch movie. Rated PG-13. Science
going
fiction.
back
Caption
home
2014.
just to stop
Button.
it.
3 of 9. Select for more details. Move horizontally to select other items in this collection.
Okay, so now I'm back on the home screen. So Hulu's not a bad experience as long as you don't mind having to turn off TalkBack to go into it and then turning it back on when you're out of it. So I'm going to turn it back on.
Talkback on. Held back and down buttons. Talkback turned on. Home.
Let's try a couple more apps.
Microphone is recording. Google.
Apple TV.
Microphone stopped recording.
Opening.
Apple TV.
Again, this is hit or miss because this app was working earlier. But like Netflix, it's not working now. So that
Sidebar. Selected. Home. Button. 3 of 7.
Okay, so the sidebar is working. Let's go back out. Let's try it. Sidebar.
Sidebar. Selected. Home. Button. 3 of 7. Home. Top chart. MLS season pass.
Okay,
Get
so
20
once I selected home,
Top
in
chart.
the
Apple TV Plus. Dark Matter.
sidebar
Root.
now,
Comedy. 2 of 25.
this is working.
Sugar. Drama. 3 of 25.
Let's try Max.
Microphone is record.
Open Max.
Google.
Opening. Max.
Microphone stopped recording. Max. Unlabeled. Max Home. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Go to movie. Button. 1 of 6. Rated. P. Blippi Wonders. Go to series. Button. 2 of 6. Rated. T-B-Y. 3 seasons. Blippi Wonders is. Craig Before the Creek. Go to movie. Button. 3 of 6.
If
Rated.
this does work,
Craig Before the Creek. Watch Craig Before. You may also like selected. Tab. 1 of 1. Navigate down to browse. You may also like.
so this is a pretty good experience in Max.
Craig of the Creek button. 1 of 30. Press and hold to add to my.
Hit another one. And Apple TV.
Craig of the Creek. Watch Craig of the Creek season 1 episode 1. Button. 1 of 2. Navigate right for other actions. Navigate up or down for more. The main menu is on the left edge of the page.
Apple TV and Max do both support audio description. You have to go turn them on, but the player is accessible enough to figure it out. I'll show you Amazon Prime next because this is clunky.
Microphone is recording. Google.
Open Prime Video.
Google.
Opening. Prime Video.
Prime Video. Who's watching? Create up to additional profiles for your Prime Video account. Press select to choose. Current profile. John. Button. 1 of 3. American Fiction. Number 5 in the US. Prime. Banner 1 of 10. Press and hold select for more options. Move right to see more banners. Move left to navigate to the main menu. Press select to see details. Move down to browse lists.
So as you can
Something
see,
in the water. Available to rent or buy. Banner 2 of 10.
all right, let me get off of this.
Browse by all content. Button 1 of 4. Move right for more browse options. Press select to choose. Move up and down to browse lists.
So as you can tell, they have put effort into it because it knows I'm using a screen reader and it's telling me how to navigate every single time as if I've forgotten. And I'm just going to show you what it's like to try to navigate because for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. Let's see.
Continue watching. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm gonna go
Mutant
to
Mayhem. 1 of 10. Prime.
Ninja Turtles.
Resume. Button. 1 of 8. Move left or right or up for options. Move down for seasons, episodes, and more. Press back to exit.
So just simple navigation. I'm going to move right.
More purchase options. Button. 2 of 8.
Going to move right again.
Start over. Button. 3 of 8.
Again. It didn't do anything. It's like it's frozen. And I know there's things to the right of it. Not doing anything. I'm going to press left. It clicked, but nothing happened. The focus did not move. So this is what happens during navigation. It just
Trailer. Button. 4 of 8.
freezes.
Add to
Now
watch
it's
list.
working
Button.
again.
5 of 8.
And this happens throughout the entire app with TalkBack. So it's hard to get anything playing, let alone, I'm going to assume because in the description it says it has audio description, I'm going to assume it has audio description, but because of this navigation issue, I have not been able to actually get to the settings during playback to change my language to audio description. So I haven't been able to turn it on because of the navigation of this app. So as you can see, every app behaves differently. Some are totally inaccessible. Some make you turn off TalkBack but work great when you go into it without TalkBack. Some decide to play at their own volume even though you've set TalkBack to a different volume. Some have navigation issues. Some have the issue where Netflix has to read the entire thing before it lets you go to the next item. So I haven't really done much playback because I wanted to avoid copyright issues. But the playback experience when using Google Assistant is not great. So I thought one of the great features of this thing having a speaker built into it is that you could use voice controls, right? So if you're watching something and you say, okay, G, what happens is what you've experienced previously in this demonstration. The Google app will start making TalkBack yell out that the mic is open, and that's kind of all the speaker hears because the speakers, at least I have my speaker right next to the TV. So if I'm trying to talk to it from across the room and it's yelling at itself, it just gets confused and it rarely does the right thing. And anytime you ask it to do something during playback, it stops playback. So if I'm watching something and I say, turn off the lights, it'll say, okay, turning off the lights, and then the lights turn off, and then I'm stuck on the Google Assistant screen, and I have to back out of it I have to find the remote to back out of it to continue watching what I was watching. And anything you ask it, that's the experience. Even if you just want to raise the volume. You're watching something and you say, okay, G, raise the volume. If it hears you correctly and it raises the volume, it says, okay, raising the volume, and then you're stuck on the Google Assistant screen. You have to find the remote to back out of it. So the hands-free experience did not exactly work the way I thought it would. You know, I don't sugarcoat things. I wanted you to see what the experience was like, and I did not go out of my way to break things. I just tried to use it how anybody would try to use it. And this is my experience. This is not a knock on the device. I have had all of these issues, or most of these issues for sure, if not all of these issues, on other Android TV devices, my NVIDIA Shield, my Google TV, or Chromecast with Google TV. So this is a Google TV problem or Android TV problem, and more specifically a TalkBack problem, because when you turn TalkBack off, everything works great. It flies through the OS. This thing is getting great reviews from sighted people because it's completely capable for a streaming device, but TalkBack is just so clunky and resource intensive when it doesn't need to be that it's a bad experience in my opinion. So if you like Android TV, this is an Android TV device and it behaves how I expected it to. And for what you get for the price compared to Chromecast with Google TV, I think it's a better buy. So I'll stop talking now and end this demonstration. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, John, for that. And unfortunately, you had to return that baby. Baby went back home to mama. And of course, mamas never reject their babies. They always take them back. So I'm glad they took her back. Are you missing the ON, John?
No, I don't miss it. If I did, I have a Chromecast with Google TV sitting in a drawer somewhere that I could always dust off if I felt compelled, but I don't. feel compelled.
What a papa. You're not missing that baby you send back home to mama. That's fine. But yeah, no, seriously though, I kind of like the device in some ways and all of that. It's so reminiscent of the Google TV. It's just the same thing as
Yeah.
the Chromecast from
Yeah,
Google.
the
And
device is good. Talkback is the problem. I just hate Talkback on Android TV. It's bad. It's it goes to show, like, when the best experience is like the Hulu app, for example, in that demonstration, it felt ridiculous for an app to tell you turn off your screen reader and then come back. Like, you should never tell a blind user to turn off the screen reader and come back. But after you do that, it actually is a good experience. Like, it works better without Talkback, and that's sad. Talkback has a lot of room for improvement on Android TV.
now, so this is a problem that we have. I wish that all these developers or companies stop trying to reinvent the wheel. We have the screen reader out there. Please just make your stuff compatible with the screen reader instead of trying to reinvent things and try to do your own and telling me to, turn off Talkback. Sony does that too. It's kind of so annoying to me. And
Yeah, but also
I don't like
Google
that.
make Talkback work first, and then we can demand these people to be compatible with Talkback, because it's
well,
bad.
but we should all be on one page because this is so confusing. It's not a good experience with these Google TV and Android TVs, with everyone trying to do their own thing. It's just the end user kind of gets frustrated when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it does make it worse.
Up next is the App of the Week segment. This is a segment dedicated to app demonstrations. Should you have an app that you would like to demonstrate for our listeners, feel free to send us the recording of such an app demo to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your App of the Week. Let's now conclude today's episode with my app of the week. And of course, it's called Caption Call. And this is for those of our friends who are deaf or hard of hearing. Like I said, a lot of times we're only concentrating on ourselves as blind people, but there are other disabled people out there or people with disabilities out there. And this is one of those things. And of course, we know some of our blind people also have some hearing issues. And so here's this app of the week talking about how to go about using the Caption Call. And of course, I couldn't show the whole thing because I am neither deaf nor hard of hearing. And so I couldn't do a real time. And the whole idea is for you guys to test it and let us know what you think. Here's Caption Call. Hi. For episode 180 App of the Week, this is demonstrating an app simply called Caption Call. Caption Call is intended for people who are deaf or hard of hearing and live in the United States of America. Since I'm neither one of these, that is, I'm neither deaf nor hard of hearing, I will not be able to demonstrate how it interacts with the screen reader during a call. This is simply intended to show you how you go about signing up for the app. I will also be letting you hear the description of the app. I am on the play page of the app and will now navigate to the About and then come back and open up the app. Here's the
About this app. Heading. Google Play Store. Caption Call. Details.
I am now on the About page and I'll put my finger down and let it read the description of the app.
Phone call captioning. Caption Call Mobile empowers deaf and hard of hearing individuals to make and receive phone calls with instant live captions. Caption Call Mobile offers captioned phone calls in real time at no cost to qualified deaf and hard of hearing users in an easy-to-use mobile app that integrates seamlessly into daily life and work. Why Caption Call? No more landlines. Caption Call Mobile goes where you go. allowing you to make and receive caption calls from your mobile device anywhere with Wi-Fi or mobile data service. Fast, accurate, and easy, Caption Call automatically transcribes both sides of your conversation in a customizable, easy-to-read format, using advanced voice-to-text for deaf and hard of hearing that is 100% private and secure. Accurate call captions appear in real time for free-flowing, natural conversation. No cost, ever. As an FCC-approved caption call service, Caption Call provides 100% no-cost call captioning to those with qualified hearing loss, thanks to a federally administered fund. Getting started with Caption Call Mobile is easy. 1. Install the Caption Call mobile app. 2. Create an account. You must provide accurate account information to meet federal requirements and enable your service. 3. Receive your new Caption Call mobile phone number for making and receiving caption calls. Or you can continue using your existing phone number and automatically forward them to Caption Call Mobile on your mobile device or tablet for captioning. 4. Tap Allow when asked to grant permissions to Caption Call Mobile. You'll have quick access to your saved contacts, captioned voicemail and voicemail alerts, and can dial and receive calls from any phone number, just like your regular phone. 5. Use Caption Call Mobile to start making calls with instant live captions. Caption Call Mobile is exclusively for people with hearing loss who need captions to use the phone effectively in the United States only. Caption Call and Caption Call Mobile are available in the United States only. Federal law prohibits anyone but registered users with hearing loss from using Internet Protocol (IP) caption telephones with the captions turned on. IP caption telephone service may use a live operator. The operator generates captions of what the other party to the call says. These captions are then sent to your phone. There is a cost for each minute of captions generated, paid from a federally administered fund. No costs are passed along to individuals who qualify for the service. The Caption Call phone and app remain the property of Sorensen in order to provide ongoing support, service, and upgrades. Patent information: www.sorensen.com/legal. Please report any bugs and feedback to Happy Calling. Thanks. The Caption Call mobile team.
And that's the description of the app. I'll now go back and go tap on Open.
Play Store. About this app, heading.
I'll scroll back up and go tap on Open.
Open button.
Let's tap.
Welcome to Caption Call.
We hear Welcome to Caption Call. And if you do have some side, you can see that there's a picture of someone at the top of the screen. Let's move on down.
The world's fastest, most accurate captioned calls. Made exclusively for people with hearing loss.
Now, moving my finger down.
Unlabeled.
I come across an unlabeled button. I can see two of them in there, which indicates it's like a next or previous. And I'm sure that if we swipe from right to left, it will take us to the next page. Or if I tap on the second unlabeled button, it will take me to the next page. However, below that, though, we do have some buttons that go across the phone from left to right, basically horizontal buttons.
Create an account button.
That's the create an account, and below that,
sign in button.
And a sign in. Now, let's go ahead and tap on that second button in the middle that is unlabeled, or let's just go ahead and swipe from right to left.
Page 2 of 3.
Aha, I swiped from right to left. It took me to page 2 of 3. Putting my finger down in the middle, of course, that picture is still there at the top of the screen.
Caption Call goes anywhere.
Moving down.
Make and receive captioned phone calls anywhere you have good Wi-Fi or mobile data connection.
And we still have those buttons, that is the create an account and the sign in, are still there at the bottom. Let's swipe from right to left again.
Page 3 of 3.
And again, that picture is there on the top. And putting my finger down.
Caption Call is for deaf and hard of hearing users only. Your information must be accurate to qualify you to make free captioned calls with Caption Call.
And this is the last page. And of course, we have those two buttons, create account or sign in. As I indicated earlier, since I'm neither deaf nor hard of hearing, I'll not be able to demonstrate how it interacts in real time with a screen reader when it comes to the text. I will, however, tap on the create account and see if that process is accessible to us or not. The whole idea is for those of you who are deaf or hard of hearing to try it and then let us know if it works with your screen reader. I'll now tap on that create account.
Create an account button.
And I'll tap.
Caption call. Logo. Image.
We heard logo image, and I'll move my finger down.
Terms and policies.
We heard terms and policies. Moving on down.
Please review and accept each of the agreements below. By completing this section, you have reviewed and agreed to the terms and policies.
And moving down.
E-signature. E-signature.
We hear e-signature, and in other words, you'll have to electronically sign this to certify that you are indeed deaf and live in the United States. Moving on down.
Self-certification. Self-certification. Disabled.
And of course, it's disabled because we haven't signed that e-signature to certify that one is deaf or hard of hearing. And below that,
E911 limitations in VoIP service. E911 limitations in VoIP service. Disabled.
That also is disabled because I believe that this is all dependent on the e-signature found that we haven't tapped on.
User registration database. User registration database. Disabled.
And below that,
already have an account. Sign in here.
That's it. Now let's go back up to the top and tap on that e-signature.
E-signature. E-signature.
Here's that e-signature. I'll tap.
Caption call. Close button. Button.
We heard caption call close button. That close button is found near the top right. I'll put my finger down though.
Electronic signature agreement. By pressing I accept you.
And now I'll just triple tap and hear what it says.
Provide your general consent to use electronic agreements and signatures throughout our relationship with you. The agreements we provide to you, or that you sign or agree to at our request, may be in electronic form and delivered to you in a variety of ways, including over our phone, mobile application, website, and other devices. You agree to use these various means of delivery to display agreements and to enter into these agreements in any...
I just tap to stop it, and of course you can read this and go through. I'm going to scroll down and see what we have at the bottom. Now scrolling down at the bottom, we've got
I accept button.
There's I accept button. Of course, as I indicated, I am neither deaf nor hard of hearing, so I'm not going to go through the process, but the whole idea is for you to try it if you're deaf or hard of hearing. And that would conclude this demonstration of Caption Call, and thanks for listening. All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. We, however, have Austin standing by to give you information on how to get hold of us. Austin?
To contact us, you can send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. You can join our mailing list by sending an email to blind Android users plus subscribe at groups.io. You can join our Telegram, Facebook, Discord, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The links for everything will be at the bottom of the show notes and also in the video description of the YouTube channel. And also the links are in the website's panel of the YouTube channels.
Thank you for that, Austin. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode. And from me, it's goodbye. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
Have a good week.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone, and have a great week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.